Now we're going to talk about skill acquisition. In this section you'll learn how to help the archer develop new shooting skills, whether they're a beginning archer or whether an archer has been shooting a while and learning new shooting technique. The archer needs to understand what they're trying to do and how to make that motion. Then the archer needs some kind of feedback to know whether they're doing it correctly or not. So one of the ways that we do that is using a mirror. So this is a feedback. The first feedback can just be tactile feedback, where you're just putting your hand on your shoulder them and then helping them to feel the motion of the shot. The next would be a visual feedback. This immediate visual feedback is a mirror, which is really one of the best tools early on for a beginner. Then we might go to delayed video and continue to extend the time of the feedback to eventually where the archer is performing the skill correctly and only gets occasional feedback from the coach. As they're learning the setup position, they would be looking at their posture to see that their back is straight versus arched, and they can see that and immediately correct it and make sure that they maintain it as they come to the setup position. It's important for both the coach and the athlete to realize the amount of time that it takes for the archer to learn new shooting technique. And it's really important to make sure that you keep the weight or the resistance down as they're progressing and learning new technique. If at any time you start to get too far ahead where the resistance, like moving on to the competitive bow, before they're really ready and have mastered the technique, then they will have difficulty progressing with the new shooting technique. So make sure that you move slowly through the progression from lower resistance up to eventually the tournament bow. Another concept to learn about coaching new archers and developing new technique is that of the external versus internal focus and the intensity of training. What we're looking for here is the lowest intensity and internal focus by shooting at a blank boss. This way the archer isn't thinking about the aiming or thinking about the results on the target, but they can totally focus on their shooting technique. As they progress and their technique becomes more consistent and more automatic, then we can begin shooting a blank bail at farther distance and then put up target faces and make sure that as they progress that the new technique stays consistent as the intensity and the external focus increases.